Hello, dear viewers of the podcast Got in the Motion. With me, the main host, Yavor Ivanov, and with my favorite co-host, Kubrat Ivanov, more known as Kubi.
Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode. Today we are joined by a very special guest named Kalyana Sundaran Ayappan. He is packed with experience as he's been working in his profession for 16 years, and he's currently working as an Amazon Web Services manager, managing a team of 13. He has a diploma in electronics and communication engineering, a bachelor's in computer applications, and has completed a master's in network management. So Kalyan, how are you feeling today?
Doing great to be here. It's my first time doing a podcast ever, and I'm really glad I'm doing it with Kubi, yourself, and you're really good and having a so good day. Yeah.
Well,
Thank you for accepting our invitation. We are glad you're with us today and have some question and lighten up about computer science and all, because we are not so good, and I'm sure you'll be one of the greatest guests to reveal all this area.
Yeah. My pleasure. Like I said, really feeling grateful being here. But yeah, let's get started.
My first question is, where are you from? Mm-hmm. And which country you come from?
Okay, I'm from India. There's a small town within the state of Tamil Nadu, mm-hmm. and that's where I born, raised, and spent my first 18 years of my life there. Yeah.
Okay, and then you moved to Ireland, is that?
No. So I did all my studies in a place called Tamil Nadu, and mm-hmm. that's where I did my studies for the first 18 years. And I took up a job, and I had to move to another state called Karnataka. I moved there. I did my work. That's where I took my first job. I worked for at least 4 to 5 companies there, mm-hmm. and then I moved to Ireland in 2022. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you started from such a young age, instantly jumping yourself into that profession. What sparked your interest, and how did you really know, okay, this is the field that I want to go into and pursue?
I can say there was a bit of pressure in studies. I'm not so passionate about studies as when I started. So I was doing my schooling, I was doing my diploma, as you briefly explained in my introduction as well. And that was an opportunity for me to take up a job at the age of 18. I was giving some interviews, some didn't work, and there was a very good company called HCL. It's called Hindustan Computer Limited. When I gave them an interview, I got selected, I was given an offer. I was only 18, as I mentioned, and I thought, okay, why not give it a try? Like I said, I wasn't so much passionate about my studies, but if this is another era that I can get in and see how it works for me. So I took up a job, and then the job needed me to travel to another state called Karnataka. And I moved up there, and I worked there for about 15-16 years in Karnataka before I moved to Ireland.
Okay, and when and why did you decide roughly to move to Ireland? Was it because of the job inquiries? So they said there's a space opened up in Ireland and you wanted to come over, or how did it happen?
No, it's a good question. I think from my childhood, I always wanted to see new places, meet new people, learn any new culture. And as part of me working with the Amazon, that gave me an opportunity of traveling to few countries. So before I moved to Ireland, I had a chance of traveling to, say, Australia, Canada, States, and UK as well. And me having those frequent travel kind of empowered me that, okay, this is good. I meet new people, I'm eating new food, I'm learning new culture. And then my inner self kind of triggered me that why not give a try and try staying there for a long term. And like I said, Amazon is full of with opportunities, and as I worked with Amazon in Bangalore within Karnataka state, I saw this position opened in Ireland, and I wanted to give a try. So it's just about finding the people, telling them that you're interested, giving interviews. If you get through, you're here. If not, you keep trying again. And fortunately, lucky me, I got the job, and I moved in here. Yeah.
Excellent.
And how are you finding it so far?
No, it's great. I think this is one of the best choice I made because this not only benefited me, it also my family. I have a beautiful wife and a 4 years old cute son. So this travel also gave them an opportunity to travel along with me to Ireland, meet new people, learn culture. And my wife's working, my son's going to school, he's making new friends. So I think it's definitely one of the greatest choices I made, and I'm liking it so far. It's a great fun.
Well, that's great.
That's where I met you two beautiful people.
Thank you.
I find it really
and we are lucky to meet you too.
Sure.
And that's leading to the next question. What you like the most in Ireland?
I would start with the people being really friendly, and how things are set in an organized way, like things are happening. It's a progressive place, and it's pretty much the people and the culture, and any newer place you go, you always have that excitement. Oh, that looks new. This looks different for me. I'm still living that excitement. So I would say I would always start with people being really nice and friendly. So yeah, that's one of my favorite thing in Ireland.
Yeah, for me as well. Yeah, it's the same. The people is the most
Totally.
important, and if they accept you, if they're warm-hearted and
Agreed.
make the stay much better, much
Yeah.
easier. And yeah, I totally agree with you. The people are the biggest treasure of Ireland.
Totally.
Yeah.
How long have you stayed in Ireland so far, working with your family? How long have you guys?
It's my second year. So I moved in here in 2022, February 24th. So I think this month I'll complete my 2 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know what? I did travel to Ireland in 2019 just for a week. So that was really an eye opener for me because, like I mentioned, I did travel to few other countries, and including Ireland in 2019. So I was able to compare myself. Okay, I've been to US, I've been to Australia, now I've also been to Ireland. Where do I want to go? So I was given with all these opportunities. Then I chose of all the places I traveled, I definitely found Ireland being a better place. So I just wanted to give it a try, and I moved in. So yeah.
Yeah.
And what would be the biggest sort of day-to-day difference that you'd find in the lifestyle in India and obviously in Ireland? What would be the thing that kind of fascinated you from the start when you came here, and it's something casual maybe in Ireland, or something that just grabbed your interest instantly?
I think like when you get into the comparison, right? There are a lot of benefits in India. Me being a local citizen there, and for me here in Ireland, this is more about me wanting to learn new things. Okay, there are things that you don't have accessibility very quickly. For example, in India, you can just walk out the door, you have everything for you. You could either do it yourself, you can get the work done, like be it a shop or be it food that you want to get, it's there just by your door. But here it's not that. Like I said, everything is organized. You have to follow certain procedure. But this is something that I wanted to feel and try. The better side here in Ireland, I would say the nature is really, really good.
Yeah, agree.
And the place is really good. People's good. And overall, a greater experience is why I would say I chose to be in Ireland. Yeah.
Okay, well that sounds great, and I'm happy that you're enjoying this
definitely,
new way of life, of course, in Ireland and following through the procedures. That's great. So, how would you like to continue on?
Well, the next question is there a Indian community? How big it is, the Indian community in Ireland?
I see a huge population at this point, at least. Even when you walk to a store, you go to a movie, you definitely see a good amount of Indians. India is a bigger country, space-wise, population-wise. So even if you meet an Indian, right, we don't necessarily greet because that isn't a culture back in India, unless you know someone. Like you can look at an Irishman here, you can give a smile, you can say a good morning, and that's totally okay. But then when you meet an Indian and when you don't know them, you saying good morning, smiling at them, that guy would be like, who's this guy? Like, so that can always happen.
Culture,
But to answer your question, I do see a good amount of migrations happening here.
Do you have more specifically, because you're from Tamil Nadu, big Tamil community in Ireland?
Unless I spoke to them, I wouldn't know whether they're Tamil, because anyone would look like if you see an Indian, just by looking at their face, you won't identify what language they speak. But you know that they are an Indian. But I did meet some people in a mall, as they would be speaking to Tamil in their family, and you would be overhearing like, hey, you speak Tamil. We've actually I've got introduced to one of them like that, and then later on it turned out that they work for Amazon also. Then we invited them to my place, we have been to their place. So that's what we do. But that never really differentiated us. As long as you see an Indian, and when situation where you have to interact, irrespective of what language it is. We still treat each other as our friends and family, and we developed a good friendship as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that Malayalam, for example, they have a kind of community that they celebrate together. Christian celebration, also Hindu celebration, and they get together.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what religion you are, which is beautiful. There is no confrontation or anything like that. And that's why I ask you this question, because I know the people from Kerala, they kind of stick together and have a festivals. And
they're more like brothers, if you see, right? So Tamil Nadu and Kerala share a border. In fact, I come from a place where you can get into Kerala in 15 minutes drive. So I'm from the southern part of Tamil Nadu, where it also interconnects with Kerala. So I've got a lot of friends who speaks Malayalam, and a lot of my Kerala friends speaks Tamil because they would have completed their studies in Tamil Nadu. So we share a good bond.
Yeah, they said that the two languages, Malayalam, which is spoken in Kerala, and Tamil, which is spoken in Tamil Nadu, obviously, they're kind of similar in a way.
So
a little bit, no?
Yeah.
Am I right? Or?
No, you're right. What we believe is that there's one ancient language. We believe that to be Tamil, and there are many other languages derived from Tamil. Yeah. So initially, Tamil, and then maybe Malayalam's come out of Tamil. Just the way we speak differently, but that's what we believe to be actually.
Yeah. I will stay out of the politics because it's. I know it's a big tension there, a little bit with the central government and Tamil. Only one little statement I want to make, that it's not good people to be suppressed, no matter where they're from and which state they come from or which country they come from. So
now just shifting the momentum, kind of going aside, maybe getting a bit nostalgic. If you could bring one thing from home to Ireland, obviously not family, the obvious answer. Maybe something that's normal for there, something that you're very comfortable with because you grew up, or whether it be even something materialistic, something that on a day-to-day basis you would see it in India and where you grew up, and where and how would you implement it in Ireland?
That's a good question. I wanted to say weather, but then I can't bring the weather from India to Ireland. I would say how quicker they can get a driving license there.
Okay.
Yeah. So me going through the driving license procedure recently in Ireland, it took almost say 16, 18 months. Me having to do 3 to 4 attempts. Yeah. Sometimes I feel that's really exhausting procedure. But back in India, you don't have to. I'm not saying that the standard is low, but practically, if you can drive, if you can follow the rules, you can get your license. Okay. I think that can save a huge amount of time for the officials as well, and for people like us. So I would say that.
The procedure in Ireland, it's very tedious. Even I have classmates that are applying now for their practical test because they've passed through their theory test, and some of them are getting rejected because they're all the way booked up until the summer. And even if you're ready and you've studied it, there's not even space. And it's quite expensive as well.
Totally. And with the increasing migration, you also have to expand the number of slots available, officials available for this. So I would say that, I've been driving in India for about at least 12, 13 years. And me having to wait and me having to... it's not a complaint, I'm just saying that could be convenient. I definitely think the standard of driving in Ireland is really good. That's why you see less of accidents as compared to other countries. But, you see the good number of migrations coming in, so you would probably have to increase
it. Okay.
Because recently the population reached 5 million, which way for India sounds very, very small. It's like almost like a town in India, but for Ireland it's a huge number. And how you said, maybe the authorities need more people to work and provide this license and all these procedures. My next question is, I have the pleasure to ask you, what you like in Ireland, really like it a lot, that you would like to have it in India? As you're living now a few years here, you
Sure.
have a good observation.
Yeah, no, like I said, the nature is really good. There are some places I've never seen in my entire life. I can name some of them, like Downpatrick Head in Mayo County.
Yeah.
That we've been there recently. That view was really stunning, and I'm not sure we do have very good places in India, but maybe the way we maintained here is really good. I really liked, and the way you can reach certain places quickly. For example, if you put a map to a location, if that says you can reach in 30 minutes, you can actually reach in 30 minutes. Maybe the traffic system back there isn't that great because you can take about an hour just to cross 3 kilometers because there's a huge traffic, and when it rains it gets even more worse, right? So if that's something that I can take it there, it would be really good spending time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, it is. And Ireland's small enough. You can travel from
Yeah.
one end of Ireland
Yeah.
to the other in a day.
And the way we follow the traffic rules as well, like
Yeah.
people respect each other's time and they give away, and to follow the lane discipline. I think some of them can be implemented there in India. That would make a lot of people's life easier.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's obviously very difficult, of course, with how densely it's packed, and then
Sure.
just the actual landscape as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to suppose is more treacherous.
No,
and-
but my country there is billion people exist. And it's not so easy to, as we speak, it's not so easy to implement everything. right?
Exactly.
It works, okay, practically when you go drive, everybody's rushing. And it works, but it can get better, is what I mean, yeah.
Okay, that's understandable as well.
Yeah.
Yes. And with your experience now working in this field and obviously studying,
Mm-hmm.
now we see lots of IT specialists and computer engineers coming from India.
Mm-hmm.
What would be a factor that dictates that to occur? Because would it be the universities? As you said, at 18 you're already getting offered a full-time job
Yeah.
at that field, which is very rarely met in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually how you do it is you go to university, you get your bachelor's, and then if you got a decent enough score and the university is kind of high up the top students, you can be lucky enough and offered a job in that profession straight away.
Yeah.
But you would rarely hear somebody in Ireland to start working in such a serious place instantly from the age of 18. Do you think that influences why so many people are coming out of this profession?
No, in India you have million opportunities. So the number of students graduates is equivalent to the opportunities available there. I can't say that in Ireland because in my experience, right, as someone as my experience can resign today and guarantee they'll get a job sometime next month, right?
Okay.
But you can't say that here.
No.
You might stay without a job for years.
Yeah.
Right. So I think as the population is really good in India, huge in India, you also have huge opportunities with every field. As long as you have that skill, show that curiosity to learn things, you can get a job. So when I came out of it, I think it was that time of Microsoft, HCL, Google becoming really popular in India, and then you see the opportunities within the IT field. So I knew I wanted to. I was learning computers as part of my passion. During my holiday season,
Yeah.
so I always had some interest towards learning anything towards a computer. So when I did my college, it was the option that I had to myself. I could either do engineering, study for another 3 to 4 years, or I could take a job and face the reality and see what that is. And like I said, I wasn't so much attracted to doing any higher studies. Rather, I thought, let me take a job, and then if everything goes well, I'll do my distance education. So I took a job. I joined as a support engineer, as I mentioned, where I had to travel to my customer places, understand what the problem they have with their systems, sit with them, troubleshoot. It was a good learning. I was learning multiple things. I was learning a new language because I moved to a different state and they speak different language, and me meeting a certain system administrator, they sometimes don't speak English, so I get to learn the local language. And
What was the local language?
It's called the Kannada, beautiful
That's
language.
great,
Yeah. Kannada is the language, so I had a chance to learn the language, and I had a chance to learn the technology as well. And as I worked with companies and meeting different customers, ultimately I gained my experience. Yeah.
I want to ask you as well. Do you feel? did you feel any different treatment in different parts of India because you're from the south, or you just
I'm from south. It's very south. It's called South India.
Yeah.
And you have Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra, Telangana. Those are all the southern sides we have. North, you would know by now, Delhi, all those places. But yeah, I've never traveled to North India. I've spent all my time in South India.
So you didn't feel any kind of different way of teaching you because you're from the south, you're from the Tamil Nadu, like you're all Indian, so it's you haven't experienced any kind of not so pleasant experience.
No, I think I never saw a need of traveling. For example, I had a job opportunity in Karnataka. If there was an opportunity in Delhi, I would have gone. I didn't have any hesitation to travel anywhere. I didn't have any reason not to travel anywhere. Me, just coming out of college, had no idea how the real world is. There was an opportunity and they said you need to move to this state. I said, okay, sure. If that opportunity was elsewhere, I would have definitely traveled as well. Yeah, but you wouldn't see too much difference. End of the day, it's India. We know the culture, and you would see a small difference in the food.
The food, yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
And there is a girls' dance as well. I watched one film that the feet are open like that, but this dance, I forgot the name. As you go southern in India, the feet open more. And the dance is that small things, yeah.
Is it Bharatanatyam?
Yeah. We had a Bulgarian girl. She was extremely good in this dance, and she was sponsorship from the Indian government to learn in India.
Yeah, it's very classic. I don't think.
Yeah, it's a classic. Yeah, it was banned by the British. It was banned by the British.
Probably, I don't know, but that's very skillful. It's not very easy as well, and we have very few talents, at least that I know of, can do really, really good Bharatanatyam. But nowadays, I don't know if anybody.
Yeah, this Bulgarian girl must be very good because they have a special documentary film in Bulgarian television, and she was so good. I guess if the Indian government paid her scholarship in India to continue her study of the dance.
Sure, yeah.
So I learned about this dance a little bit as well, and I saw that a little slight differences in the north. The feet were closer, in the south, a bit
Talking
more
about
open.
that, my wife actually learned that in her early ages, and then she had to stop. But she used to tell me as well, it's really a good moves that you can learn, but it's not so easy. It's really, really tough. You have to practice a lot.
Yeah, totally.
So, back to the question for your profession. You think that people in India would be, or just the mentality itself, they'd be more open to taking a young person that's willing to study and learn without the necessary experience maybe that you'd need for that position as you would in Ireland. So let's say you said that you were taken in because they saw that you studied hard and that you showed signs that you wanted to progress in that field. You don't think that would be in Ireland implemented, or that it's been implemented at all?
I don't know much yet about Ireland here, but as I'm in this particular field, the competition is more for the job openings that we have. For example, as a manager, I could have say 5 roles open, and then you will have 500 people applying for it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the role is only 5. But as you compare this with India, for example, right? You will have 500 roles open, and you will have 1,000 people applying for it. So there's a 50-50 chance whether you get here, or if not, you'll get somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it can be related to the population and the number of companies that we build there, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of companies move there and conduct their operations. One, because it's cheaper labor there.
Yeah. Okay.
And there is a good population, and you can always hire people for a cheap labor and good talents there as well. I'm not saying that it's not, but what I'm saying is that
it's
huge
much
population,
easier.
Huge opportunities there.
100%.
And number of companies there as well.
Yeah. So would there be less IT companies coming over to Ireland because of obviously it being in euros and it's being more expensive?
Yeah.
While in India it'd be cheaper.
It's cheaper. Yeah.
Okay.
You would see a lot of American companies, European companies run their operations from India.
Okay.
For example, take a manufacturing company as an example, right? They may sell their products in any country, but to provide the technical support, they would keep the team in India so that they can pay them. So you can buy a product today, Take an
Yeah.
example of this microphone. If this is a faulty microphone, if you have to get technical support, the person you'll be speaking to may not be from Ireland, may not be from UK. Rather, they would be from India somewhere,
Okay.
or elsewhere where it's cheaper labor.
Yeah.
So the company can save money a bit, with regards to taxes and hiring people.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you can get things done faster. Be it hiring, be it building something, because like I said, the labor's cheaper. You have more than one people is available to do the job, so you can always compare and build something really quickly.
Yeah. And what would be your advice for somebody that's maybe planning or looking at the profession that you work in? What would be your advice, maybe a piece of knowledge that they should know, or what they should expect once they start studying?
I think looking ahead and see where the world is leading to. Now we talk a lot about AI, cloud technologies,
Yeah.
right? So I think it is about where are we now, what were we 5 years before, and what are we looking at the world going towards, right? And then knowing that, and then maybe making a small modification with regards to what subject you choose, what field you choose,
Yeah.
preparing for yourself. Now my nephew is going through that exact same situation. He's completing his higher studies and he needs some help in which college course to choose.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't blindly tell him, go and pick up an engineering, go and pick up an arts, without knowing if that course would be any useful for him in the next 5 years. Rather, I can tell him, okay, 5 years before we did not have this AI
Yeah.
being popular really,
Yeah.
but now we are talking about, so what could be the next version of it? And if you are coming out of your college at that time, you need to have this particular knowledge, a little bit amount at least.
Yeah.
So probably study this, it can help you. You can only predict and then put yourself in the path,
Yeah.
but you can't guarantee anything. As long as you learn, have some knowledge, and be prepared to face the world, then everything is on the go.
Okay. So even with accountancy nowadays, they found how to do the sheets and everything
Yeah.
online. So accountants are less of need.
Exactly. My dad is an accountant.
Okay.
He worked as an accountant for about 35 to 40 years for the same company. Assume that now he is graduating, coming out. He
Yeah.
wouldn't have a job. Like the accountancy is all made it online. Like the
Yeah.
computers can do a job for you, and it can do faster and more accurately
Exactly.
than you, right? So these are the jobs that are automated and is taken by the computers. So when you look at the future, you have to prepare yourself on how do you troubleshoot the computers, how do you troubleshoot the technology, how do you contribute yourself to bring the technology from one level to another level, rather than doing those basics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying that even if you finish and graduate for a certain profession, that you'd have to kind of evolve your knowledge
have to,
and
yeah.
keep on par with the
Yeah.
time.
If not, what can happen is, I'm just talking from the cloud and AI basis,
Yeah,
because I'm
of
from
course.
the technology
Of
field.
course,
I have
yeah.
no idea on other technology.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that even if you do any basic course, you put yourself in the market. If you don't get a job in time, right, you will be forced to learn what is popular that particular time,
Yeah.
what's trending that time. So what can happen? You may have completed, say, accountancy, but then the job you will be doing is an IT support engineer, only because that has a demand at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of my friends who did their courses in non-technical, like a Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Arts, are doing a IT support role now because they didn't have a job for the studies what they
Yeah.
had. And the IT being in a demand, they had to do an additional course
Yeah.
just to get the job. Yeah.
Even me as a teacher of history, you can escape, if you can say, even if you want to avoid a higher technology, you can't, because you really need it. And also they can be very useful, for example, for maps, when you do slices on the wall. So really, yeah, they're part of our lives, and we can't really avoid them, and it's not even advisable to avoid them, because you introduce new way of learning for the kids, and they can absorb the information better to make the history more interesting involving this high technology. I always use the how you call the wall to show the maps, or the picture of the heroes, or whatever it is about the subject. And here, maybe it's you find it maybe very simple question, but fundamental question. Do you think that the technology in general, definitely it's a bigger demand for them, and that will reduce the need of human beings, which is leading to some maybe a bit dangerous situation that then we have more machines and there will be more people without jobs. Like we're talking accountancy as well. Maybe now with the technology, maybe instead of having 5 accountants, if they do the job with one accountant who has some knowledge about technology, engineering.
Yeah, no, I think that's there, true, and that's going to be there, I believe. I think it's part of how we evolve. You know, remember in older days, we used to get clothes, you know, as a raw material. We get it stitched by going to a tailor. That's no more happening now. How many tailors have to shut down their shop only because you can go to a mall, try it on, get a shirt home. So that's a part of evaluation. I don't think going back would be convenient to the people. Although it shut down business for some people, right? I think that's a part of evaluation. It's going to be always there. Now we're talking about AI. In 10 years down the line, we might be talking about some other technology. And then we can't blame, I put all my effort into AI. So it's all about predicting and moving along with how the future is trending as well.
Be frugal in your decision making when going to study something, rather than going in blindly just because you like the topic, which is great, and everybody should work in something that they like. But they need to think also in the future.
Totally. We have to be flexible. You know, there's no guarantee that if you do this 100%, you're gonna be successful, right? I think you just have to have the flexible mindset of that's my interest. I'm gonna do this, but if I don't get it, I'm gonna have a backup plan of this. Right? Because we all need something to move along within the plan. So I think we have to be more flexible and be open to learn new things and not just stick to one thing and think that can bring everything. Might be for somebody, but might not be for everyone. So,
exactly.
I would say that.
That's very accurate, and thank you very much for coming today. This wraps up our episode. How did you enjoy it?
Like I said, my first time I was nervous, but then with you two, I feel more comfortable. So no, it's pleasure is all mine. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. Really, I enjoy and I learned a lot in this episode from you about this area, about IT and all that. So really, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, and to anybody that's watching the episode today and has enjoyed it, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, and the notification bell, and we'll catch you in the next one.